This video is sponsored by Fazebo. It's finally possible to make a dedicated iPad desk setup. For years now, we've been asking for external monitor support for the iPad, and with iPadOS 16, that became a reality. The iPad has come such a long way over the past few years, and seeing it power a 4K external monitor with mouse and keyboard support and external speakers is pretty incredible. And starting out with the base of the setup, we have our sponsor of the video, the Fazebo standing desk. And this desk almost looks like it was custom built for my apartment. It just fits this little alcove so perfectly, and I've really enjoyed using it so far. As you can see, this is one of their L-shaped options, which really helps make the most of the space that I have here. I've been using the longer side for the actual iPad setup and the right-hand side as my dedicated writing space. And of course, this is a standing desk, so after I've been sitting and working on something for a while, it's always nice to be able to stand up and stretch out a bit without having to step away from the work. And it has 3 customizable presets, so you can return to the exact same position every time. The motors are super strong with a weight limit of over 250 pounds, and all the materials are very high quality. The desk also comes with 2 separate headphone holders, one for each end of the desk, so you can choose whichever side works best for you. And the last thing I love about this desk is that it comes with wheels, so you can easily move it around when you need to. Coming from a desk that doesn't have wheels, this has been an absolute game changer. If you're interested, make sure to check out the link in the description down below, and you can get 5% off by using my code PaulBradford at checkout. Since this is an iPad setup, let's go ahead and knock that out of the way first. So I'm using the 2022 12.9-inch M2 iPad Pro along with some Pitaka accessories. Full disclosure, Pitaka did send these accessories out to me to feature in this video, but they didn't compensate me in any other way, and they didn't get any input as to what I say about them. So this is basically a 2-part system with the Pitaka MagEasy case and the MagEasy charging stand. Once the iPad is in the case, it just attaches magnetically to the stand with a very strong connection, and you can easily rotate it in 90-degree increments. I have the stand set up right in line with my monitor to basically get a dual monitor setup. There's also a Qi wireless charger built into the base of the stand, so I can just throw my phone on there and charge it up while I'm working. And probably my favorite thing about this Pitaka setup is that the case is thin enough so it'll still work with the Apple Magic Keyboard case. So I can just pop it off the stand and into the keyboard case whenever I want to take it with me on the go. It's super convenient. But let's take a minute to talk external display support for the iPad, because it's been kind of a bumpy release for Apple. For a few days, external display support was available for any of the M1 iPads with iPadOS 16, but it was quickly taken away in an update because it was just filled with bugs and glitches. So for now, this feature is only available for the M1 and M2 iPads through the iPadOS beta. And unsurprisingly, it's still clearly an unpolished product. And I guess I'm not really talking about external display support. That part seems to work okay, but more so Stage Manager and how iPadOS is handling window management. It's just been very buggy in terms of scaling applications, but keep in mind this is just the beta, so hopefully these issues will get worked out with time. In terms of functionality and how Stage Manager works, I really wish it was easier to snap windows to the left and right sides of the screen, because that's probably my most common way to organize my workspace on a desktop setup. But I'm not going to go on too much of a Stage Manager rant here because, again, it's just in beta at the moment, and we still have a lot of this setup left to cover. So the monitor I'm using here is the Dell S2722QC. This is a pretty bare bones 4K USB-C monitor, but it does everything I needed for this setup. It has decent colors, good brightness, and its matte finish provides an excellent anti-reflective coating, which is perfect as I have this set up right next to a window. And as far as cable management goes, everything is fed through the IKEA Signum cable management system, which I drilled into the desk below. This has been my go-to system since I first started building setups over 5 years ago, and it works great every time. I decided to go with dual HomePod minis as my speakers for this setup, and this has been a really fun experiment for me. I'm not sure if I would really recommend going with HomePod minis for your daily setup, because I do experience a lot of connectivity issues because I have to basically AirPlay everything through them. but when they're working, they sound really great, super impressive for their size. And I also just love the way they look on the desk. But when I'm not using my speakers, my go-to headphones are the AirPods Max. These have grown on me so much since I first tried them almost 2 years ago. They're extremely comfortable, so I can wear them for hours with no issues. And I really love how they seamlessly connect between my different Apple products. I can switch from my iPad to my iPhone to my MacBook, and it just works. That's the power of the Apple ecosystem at play. These two little fake plants I have are from Target. They were $5 each, and they do a great job of adding a splash of color and breathing a bit of artificial life into the setup. I have to say the best value item in this entire setup is this desk lamp. These types of lamps are sold all over Amazon, rebranded by different companies, and they're always super cheap, around 15 to 20 bucks, but they're surprisingly well built and reliable. I bought my first one of these lamps back in 2015, and it's still going strong to this day. For my mouse of choice, I decided to go with the Apple Magic Mouse. This mouse is great for a more casual iPad setup, as you can still use gestures like sliding your finger to scroll and swiping down on the home page to open search. Although I would like to see more Magic Mouse support in iPad OS. Being able to swipe between open applications like you can on Mac or double tap to zoom would be really useful. And the keyboard I'm using is the Newfie Air 75. This is a super thin mechanical keyboard, and I love the playful colors they went with for the keycaps here. I think this one has Gatoron red switches, and I love typing on this thing. It's very satisfying. It also has a crazy amount of RGB backlighting customization if you're into that. And everything is sitting on this extra large mouse pad. There's nothing too exciting about this, but it's surprisingly high quality for the price, and it's water resistant to protect against the occasional spill. And over on the right side of the desk, I like to keep a dedicated writing space with a couple notebooks. And I know I've said this before, but as much as I love tech and iPads and digital note-taking, nothing beats brainstorming ideas on pen and paper. Of course, any pen and paper will get the job done, but I've been using one of these soft cover moleskin notebooks, and I really like them. And last but not least, we have the chair. A good chair is a must-have if you're spending long hours at your desk, so it's really worth investing in something that's supportive and comfortable. And that's why I went with the Steelcase Series 1. This chair isn't cheap by any means, but when you compare it to some of the higher end chairs, it's a pretty good deal. It's been very comfortable so far, and it's really easy to adjust everything to support different body sizes. And I think that's pretty much everything, so let me know what you all think of this iPad desk setup in the comments down below. For me, I think it's not quite ready to use as a daily setup because of the software issues, but I'm still excited that this is even possible in the first place, and I'm really interested to see how this will play out over the next few years, and whether or not it will get to the point where it'll actually replace a full desktop experience. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.